Sean, how are you? And Vet SOS. I wanted to break down all your podcasts because for your fans and listeners, there's a lot more going on now. It's not just one show anymore, two or three. There are a lot more.
Thanks for having me again, Neil. Yeah, it can be a little chaotic. So obviously we have the Military Transition Resource Show, which is our main show, the one we started with, our flagship show, still really focused on the military transition space and anything dealing with transition, and that's what we're trying to do with that show. Our second and third shows, we had the Veteran Entrepreneur Show, which is focused on veteran and veteran spouse entrepreneurs and really highlighting their journey in entrepreneurship so that they can give tips and tricks to the next generation of entrepreneurs about resources to use, pitfalls to avoid, things like that to help them miss some of those pitfalls that happen to entrepreneurs. And the other one is the Education Resource Show, where we're really focusing on like the directors of the veteran resource centers and programs on campus, but also those programs that help people pursue an education. So that's really the three main shows we have airing right now. That's what we've been doing, and it's all about educating the next group of service members coming out, as well as the spouses and the veterans that are already out of the service.
But you have other shows coming.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So really excited about next Saturday. We're releasing the Scoop, our new kind of variety show, if you will. We're going to be able to do a whole bunch of different things with this show. The initial offering that we'll be having will be doing deep dive interviews with authors who have written books that pertain to transition, or some veteran authors, things like that. So there's a bunch of neat books that we've jumped into that we're sitting down with the author, getting the story behind the story. And Kingsley Scott's going to be our host for that, and he is just bringing all kinds of energy to it. He's pretty well known within our transition space, and really excited to have him on board. So he's going to be rocking and rolling with that. And I've watched some of the episodes he's recorded already, and it's just some good stuff. So I'm really excited about that one. Um, so it, but this coming Saturday, July 5th at 10 a.m., that one will air.
You have more shows, right?
This is true. So we got two more in the works. One, we're working on a show for the spouses, one that focuses on any topic you can imagine for spouses. And because they're still such an overlooked part of our population. As service members, as veterans, we understand the importance of the spouse and how much they do. Without their support, it would make our lives so much harder in the service. So it's important that we try to highlight that. And so we're going to be talking about everything from childcare to jobs to career fields to deployments, and just a whole array of different things. It'll be not just transition specific, but there'll also be a lot of transition things that go in there because the spouses go through a transition just like we do. And then our final show that we're working on is a skill bridge show. And this show is going to be targeted towards the skill bridge managers and having them come on. And for those who don't know, the skill bridge is the internship program that the government runs, that in the last 6 months of your service, you can go do this internship. You're still paid by the military. So you're essentially free to the company, but you're learning valuable skills and potentially landing a job out of that, right out of the military into that job that you did the skill bridge with. So great program, something I did, tons of transitioning service members do. There's even spouse programs for that. So it's a great program, and we want to start highlighting it because one of the things that some organizations do better than others is sharing what the skill bridge job is really about and what you're going to do once you go there. So this is what we're going to hope will be an education thing where people can go, I'm looking at two or three different companies I'm interested in working at, and they can tune into these episodes and they can hear, what they're actually going to be doing in the skill bridge. What kind of job is it? Is it something they really want to go into? What's the culture like? Things like that. So I think it'll be a great educational resource for the transitioning service members and spouses that get ready to do their skill bridge opportunities, and hopefully help them find the right fit, as opposed to doing one and being like, that's kind of a waste of time, or that wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Hopefully this will help them make a better informed decision.
What do you think? When do you think all this is going to be launching?
So the Scoop launches next Saturday on the 5th, and then we're going to start recording the spouse show here in July, and the Skillbridge show we're looking at late July, early August to start recording. So be releasing probably towards the end of the summer is when we'll start releasing those shows.
Will they be weekly or some of them aren't going to be as weekly?
So the scoop's going to be starting out as every other week. And then that's going to actually be an hour long or 45 minutes to an hour long show, depending on the actual interview. So it'll be entertaining. It'll be a lot of fun. The other ones most likely will be around 30 minutes, may go up to an hour, depending on the topic and the discussion, because with the Skillbert or with the spouse show and the scoop, we're also going to have panel discussions. So with those discussions, obviously we can go a lot longer. But the Skilbert show and the spouse show most likely will be weekly shows when we release them.
Right. The I think when I think about my favorite show, it's definitely the education room. I think providing those education resources and getting to speak to those people from those universities that are working with the military is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm amazed every week when we have a discussion. The I did all my education either before I joined the military or online while I was in the military. So I never really experienced the veteran atmosphere on campus. And so, learning about all these different resources that are out there for the veteran, for the family members that are using the GI Bill and benefits like that, it's just amazing. There are so many great opportunities out there. And, it's something as simple as just the Veteran Center as a place to go get away, take a break, and a lot of them offer printing services, which is something I didn't even think about. Printing's expensive. So having free printing service in some of these vet centers is a huge thing. But a lot of them have lounges, break areas, video game or movie spaces, just places where you can get away, decompress, take a break from your studies, meet fellow veterans and military connected family members and students. So I'm with you. I love that one. It's just every week we hear such great things.
All right. Best place to go.
VetSOSpodcast.com. You can get everything there, lead you to the YouTube and all the podcast platforms.